This morning, the air around Incheon International Airport felt different. Usually boisterous by the sound of announcements, footsteps, and suitcase wheels dragging the shiny floor, this morning was filled with cheers, quiet screams, and occasional sobs. It all started just 8 minutes ago, an unexpected incident involving Kim Taehyung, better known by a stage name, V of BTS. Although the meeting was a fleeting one, its imprint imprinted in the hearts of hundreds of people who witnessed it in person and from behind the scenes. This article will disassemble layer by layer what exactly happened on that unusual morning. At around 8:20 a.m. Korean time, a group of dark-colored vehicles entered the exclusive parking area of Incheon Airport. The middle car door opened slowly, and from behind the darkened window film, a familiar figure descended with calm steps. He wears a long milk chocolate coat, straight black pants, and a white mask. Not many knew where V was going that morning, but his steps were clear, without hesitation, like a man who has been planning everything since last night, or even long before. But what made it all the more interesting was how his calm pace was not followed by the hybe management crew, who were usually behind him. V seemed to be walking alone. No big bodyguards in black suits, no managers calling his name. Only one person walks a few meters behind him, a man who will eventually cause a lot of questions throughout the day. Once the cameras began to notice V's presence, flashes of light were inevitable. The few fans who happened to be on that terminal, whether due to fast, spreading information, or just pure luck, immediately held their phones tight. The videos began to be recorded, but the atmosphere was not a frenzied scream, but a rush of admiration and almost religious silence. V walked slowly, his eyes looking forward, sometimes toward the ceiling, as if he were immersing himself in something deeper than just an airport trip. The incident happened about 8 minutes ago, when V paused near a large window with views of the runway. It was there that he did something that left everyone speechless. He took off his mask, looked out the window, then closed his eyes for almost a full minute. Not moving, no talking, did not greet anyone, as if saying goodbye. Some people assumed he was going abroad. Some theorized that he was remembering the past. But one thing is certain, V is feeling something big. And for some reason, many feel it anyway. After seconds of silence behind that window, V sighed softly and turned around. He looked straight at the camera that was pointing at him, but not with flat expressions or the gaze of celebrities in general. V's gaze is like penetrating a lens, as if conveying a personal message to each of his audience. He smiled. A smile that is not as wide as usual, but full of flavor. Some fans who watched the live broadcast on social media immediately noticed something different. One ex-user wrote, "Why is her smile saying goodbye?" While another said, "Is this the last trip before something big?" When V finally started walking back towards the international departure gate, someone from the left, the mysterious man, followed and gave something to his hand. It was small, it looked like a leather notebook. V received it without a word, then put it in a bag. The scene became a matter of speculation. Is that his personal journal? Letters? Secret contract? Or just an ordinary object that happens to be the focal point due to the silence of the atmosphere? At around 8:45 a.m., V was seen sitting alone in a business class lounge chair. The distance to other passengers is quite far, although not so noticeable. In front of him was a cup of coffee and a boarding pass that was barely covered by his cell phone. V occasionally stared at the phone screen, then turned his head out the window leading to the departure lane. But what was surprising was her gestures. Her fingers were tapping on the table as if they were following a certain rhythm. And the rhythm turned out to be familiar to the fans, the beat from the intro of the song Scenery, Taehyung's most personal solo song and not officially released on any album. The song is often considered a representation of his soul. Furthermore, a few seconds later, V opened his front camera and recorded himself smiling briefly, then turning off the phone without sharing it publicly. The video will probably appear later, or never will. A few minutes after that, a notice board lit up with departure information for Paris, France. V's name was not on the public manifest list, but some speculated that he was on his way to attend a private art event attended by only a handful of international figures. Is this the main reason? But there is another, more interesting theory. One of the Korean media reported that most likely V was on a secret trip related to a film or contemporary art project in which he was involved not as a singer, but rather as a creator and director. This is in line with the fact that the booklet that the mysterious man gave us was touted as the first draft of the project, the appearance of familiar figures. An additional sign, but what made everything change was the appearance of someone who is known to be close to V. At exactly 9:02, about 10 minutes after V entered the departure gate, a tall man wearing a baseball cap entered the same area through diplomatic channels. His face was partially covered, but Army observantly recognized the figure as Park Hyung-sik. The question is, will V be able to catch up? Are they both working on a project? Or is this just a dramatic coincidence that reinforces today's sense of mystery? A short 12-second video of fans capturing the moment of V's smile in the window instantly went viral. In just over 2 hours, more than 2 million people watched the trailer. The hashtag #VAtIncheon also topped global trends, competing with other international news. Comments have sprung up from celebrities to ordinary fans. The famous South Korean actor even wrote, "There is a silence in him that speaks louder than words." A French fan added, "If he does come to Paris, we will welcome him like a king." What makes this day so much more than just an airport trip is the atmosphere. Every detail, from that smile, the little thing received, to the tap of a finger, everything seems to compose an incomplete mosaic of secrets. Is this the beginning of V's new solo project? Is this a personal journey full of meaning? Or is it just an ordinary day that becomes extraordinary because it witnessed so much love? We don't know the answer yet. But one thing is for sure, 8 minutes ago, something interesting and touching happened. And that was enough to shake the world. The airport is not just a place of farewell and meeting. Sometimes, it becomes the place where a story begins, without a script, without the audience knowing where the story will go next. Today, BTS V gives us a snapshot of his personal life full of mystery and depth. In those 8 minutes, the world saw more than just celebrities. The world sees people, and we will continue to look forward to its continuation. Because if one smile can silence thousands of voices, then imagine what could happen after this. When time freezes at Incheon Airport after V entered the international departure line, time seemed to be running slowly. Fans who were still behind the barrier glass could only see his back away. Some even recorded those last seconds with trembling hands. But just when V almost disappeared from sight, he turned his head once more. Not because anyone called, not because something dropped his step. He just turned around and nodded slowly. The small gesture immediately became the subject of discussion, as if confirming the questions hanging from the morning. Some believe it's a secret signal V's been conveying through his body language, that he's still here, that he knows all eyes are on him with hope, and that whatever he's doing right now, he's doing it not just for himself. Over time, information about Flight V increasingly confused.